much depth also not required. At least to know what is what. At least to know what is what. Like what is BIOS, what is user BIOS, what is post, or what is RAM, different type of RAM, currently using RAM. So basic information is compulsory required. RAM and ROM differences, what is processor, what is CPU, okay, different types in it. So like that, how to check your processor. This is required, okay. So not required like a, yeah, this is a troubleshooting. Understand the troubleshooting, that is also good. Knowing is better always. Knowing is better always. But compulsory required a very depth knowledge. Sorry, I want to go inside I want to acquire a lot of knowledge on it. Currently not required. Knowing is better always. Learning, knowing is always better. But currently it is not required is different. No is different. Okay, not required means you learn. Not learn, that is different. But learn first of all what it is, each component, each part, what is it, how it is look like, and the differences. Okay, issues. Okay, so here it is, your motherboard. Motherboard is also a main circuit board, PCB, or main board, you can say. We are connect all the devices, components to the motherboard either directly or indirectly. Like you connect a CPU on motherboard, you connect CPU on motherboard. So here is a different motherboards, you can see. Maybe this one, see it is. Here we put insert a CPU here, RAMs here. This is the old style motherboard. This the white one is, this is the main CPU will goes. In these blue bars, RAMs will go. SMPS connection. And if you have a graphic card, then we'll insert a graphic card here. Okay, see this is the graphic card part. This is PCI slot part. Okay, this is a processor, SMPS connection, and this is RAM slots. Hard disk connectivity. Okay, so you can connect your hard disk, SATA hard disk or PATA hard disk, depends upon the motherboard and hard disk. We'll be able to connect it. So it is CPU slot. These are the black one. These are the RAM slots. You can see clearly from here. Okay. So different motherboards are there. ATX, micro ATX, mini ATX motherboards are there. Baby ATX motherboards are there. Okay, so on motherboard, some devices we can connect on motherboard like a CPU, RAM, graphic cards. On CPU, like a directly slot connection is there. SSDs, M.2 SSDs we can able to connect. I will show you that one. Motherboard M.2 SSD connection. This is directly we can able to connect like this. This is M.2 SSD directly connecting on the motherboard. Okay. If you want to connect like a SATA connection, SATA hard disk. Okay, so these are the SATA mother ports. SATA ports. We'll connect hard disk from here using this. Yeah. Using cable, one end of cable is go to motherboard, another end of the cable will go to your hard disk. Another end will go to your hard disk. Okay, or you can have in a olden days we have a PATA connection. Okay, we have a PATA hard disk connection. So like using these cables on motherboard, you have this kind of 40 pin connectors on motherboard to hard disk will connect it. Both pictures are not showing, means at a time. Yeah, here it is. Motherboard one side, hard disk is another side, cable connection. Not directly on motherboard, it is through cable we are connecting. Okay, but CPU is on directly on motherboard. So you can see CPU will connect directly on motherboard. This is CPU connectly on motherboard. RAM directly connected to your motherboard. See it is RAM. This is the RAM is directly connected to motherboard. RAM slots. Okay. Your graphic card. It is directly came. Okay. So you can install a graphic card like this on motherboard directly. Okay. Like this, you can install a graphic card on it. Okay. RAM we can install. Graphic card we can able to install on a motherboard. Or maybe a NIC card, like a Ethernet card on motherboard directly. Like you want an additional Ethernet card, you want to install like this, we'll install it. It's directly connected to your motherboard. I already shown SSD. Already shown the SSD part. We can do it. Okay. Some are connected to motherboard internally, like a hard disk and CD-ROM connection. Hard disk or a CD-ROM connection. See it is SATA type connection, SATA type connection, SATA type of connection to hard disk or a CD-ROM connection. We will connect like this. SSD is M.2 SSD is different. M.2 SSD directly we can connect on motherboard directly. Okay, you can insert directly on your motherboard. Okay, some are connected directly on motherboard, directly on motherboard, or some are from motherboard. Okay, from motherboard means like a SATA connectivities, front panel connection, front panel USBs, front panel USBs, so front panel connections. Okay, another one is back panel. Back panel. So this is back side. When you see a computer, you can see the back panel of motherboard. Here someone is in Hindi. No, so this is a better one. Okay, different type of connectivities depends upon your motherboard. You are getting different back panels. PS/2. Okay, these are a back panel, back side of your cabinet. So you can see PS/2 for keyboard connections. And this is VGA port, 15-pin connector, VGA port. Any close-up is there? Yeah, it is better. This is VGA port. This is for a monitor connection. And this is a LAN port, means you can connect with a wire, like a LAN connection, NIC. LAN RJ45 connector it is. USB ports are there. And audio connectivity, audio means speaker, mic, and line in. PS/2 for both keyboard and mouse connection. Okay, and here it is serial port. This is the parallel port. I don't know what is this port at all. Something it is given port. Some port configurations are different. Okay, see it is. This also go for a monitor connection only, but different HDMI type of connection, but not HDMI. Some name is there. We don't use it generally. So this is a RJ45 connector. And some are coming with the HDMI ports. So what sir it is, guys? It is main circuit board. On board we can able to connect certain devices, and from on board we are connecting like a hard disk, CD-ROMs to the motherboard. Front panel like a power front panel. Okay, so on motherboard you have a front panel connection. Okay, so like this, power, reset, SDD, LED, power LED connections are there. Okay, what it is on system on in front panel. I'll show somewhere on system. You have a power button is there, no? The power button. Okay, like this, like when you press the power button, LED status, like when you press the power button, so you will find your power is on, hard disk is on, hard disk is on, and USB connections. USB can front panel only you can connect a USB, right? USB connections, audio connections. Okay, you can connect it to your headset, right? So audio connections also there, and a front panel connection. Okay, so that is front panel connection and back panel connection. So the back side of your motherboard, so you can connect your monitor, your keyboard, mouse, your speakers, kind of stuff. Okay, HDMI, LAN connectivity. So we can connect it to our computer through this back side, right? So motherboard, on motherboard, two motherboard, front panel, back panel connections are there. Means computer, all the components are connected to motherboard, either directly or indirectly. Different slots are there. We'll see it is different components on motherboards. Okay, this is the RAM slots. These are the back panel connection. These are the different back panel connection names. This is a new motherboard, some motherboard and their back panel connection. Okay guys, this is about your simple to know about your motherboard. You want to know about more about a motherboard, guys, always knowing about something. Lot of people think, sir, I want to learn about the new parts, new SSDs, new kind of stuff or part. You can search in any computer related, new blogs are there, right? News, computer tech channels are there. Whenever we ask a question, if you want to know about new computers things, new RAM kind of stuff, so where you will search, sir, I will subscribe to tech blogs and all, we'll get that information. But my point is better to go to this, what is this, e-commerce sites. Will tell you a lot of things about your computers, either desktop or laptops. You will get to know what it is. Okay. So I'm searching for a motherboard kind of stuff, desktops, and the desktop components, tower PCs, or desktop components like motherboards. Guys, this is called a compact PCs or a mini PCs. This is Apple mini PCs. It is. So this box, you can directly connect it to your system, and you can start using. Okay, it is contain Intel. New one it is. See even myself and it's in MSI. MS is a okay, good branding. Windows 10 mini PC. It contains a Windows Intel Pentium Gold processor. It is basically it is integrated graphics, no graphic card inside anyway because it's a very small in size. Built-in Wi-Fi, 4 GB RAM, and 128 GB SATA SSD. SATA SSD, not M.2 SSD. SATA SSD, you can change it. In which ways? See it is. This is mini PCs. Type C. What is this here? So is a monitor. You can see this is the monitor, and this is that mini PC box. Okay, so you can no need to put all these things. Okay, simply to use. You can connect it to your TV also. Okay, M.2 SSD or normal hard disk also we can put it because of this. Okay, M.2 SSD is also possible, but it is came with a 128 GB SATA SSD. You don't like it, you can change it. You can change normal hard disk. Okay, sodium package means your laptop RAMs. Okay, mic, headphones, one USB, another USB, power connection. HDMI connection is there, display port, something it is giving here. eSATA port, it is eSATA port, HDMI, LAN connector, and of course built-in Wi-Fi is there, power connector, and USB connectivity. You want a power external, you want to connect means other not on the device, you can get it from outside. Okay. So this is a one kind of 2-core 4-thread processor, Intel Pentium Gold processor. So 25,000 is as okay. Okay, if you want to extend the memory, then you can check it. How much memory? You can add a memory. Like this. There are a lot of mini PCs are there. You can try. Okay, but at least i3 is better with the 25 or 30,000. i3, if I got i3, at least that is better. This is also good. This is also good because 2-core 4 threads is always a good processor. Okay. Okay, so see, knowing some information. My point is not that one. My point is to go to a motherboard. See this. If you go to motherboard, you can find a lot of details on the motherboard. See this. This is a motherboard. Okay, this model is a motherboard and it supports 11th generation Intel processor. 11th generation Intel processor. The processor must like a, you can see 1200 LGA 1200 processors it will support. It is 11th generation processors and processor pin configuration is LGA 1200. It support 2 RAMs. You can see 2 RAM slots are there. These 2 RAM slots. So it support 2 RAM slots with a 3200 megahertz. And 4 PCIe. It means this 2 small PCS slots are there. PCI is a bigger and PCIe is a smaller. And this, the silver coated black one is there, no? That is your graphic card. And on board, it is not showing more pictures, but we can able to connect a USB configuration is also shown. Compatible, not compatible, it is giving why it is giving. It's showing 11th generation Intel processor, it is a 10th generation. Okay, 11 and 10 both will support it. It is LGA 1200 desktop processor. It is also 1200 pin, so it will support. And this is also supporting 3200 processor RAM. Okay, so 3 combination 1500. Okay, so that's you will get now information. This is a motherboard for AMD purpose. You have AMD processor. This is a motherboard. So motherboard, it's not just a motherboard. It may support Intel or AMD. So you have to choose based on that one. Which type of processor it will support, which generation support. Okay, what type of RAM it will support. We can get it. Okay, so it is AMD processor, motherboard, and just a RAM. RAM is RAM only. So guys, no difference in it. Okay. MSI motherboards, you can see clearly here. So back panel connection. This is a power SMPS connection. This is CPU power connection separately from SMPS to here, and HDMI. Back panel clear cut I want. Not showing any clear. Okay, a SATA port connection. Onboard does not showing any onboard M.2 connection. Maybe may not be there. Okay, so that is first of all when you are want to buy a motherboard, so better to check their compatibilities, what kind of processor, what kind of RAMs it will support, what are the ports are there. Okay, like is it support a SATA connectivity? It is connected on M.2 SSD. Is there or not? Okay, if it is not there, then it is we have to choose differently. Every seat is 1155 type of motherboard. 1155 support. So it is a different with the 12 something it is showing. Okay, so the processor support is different. Third and second and third generation of Intel processors it will support. DDR3 type of memory it will support. Chipset is B75 type of chipset. Okay, like you are going with a very old uh, processor like a second generation, third generation i3, i5 processor you want to insert it, that is suitable one. Okay, guys. So that is to get to know what are the systems and what are the connections. You can get to know. So will guys understand? Have you seen the right? So motherboard. Now it is SMPS. Another very important in your desktop system is SMPS. Of course, for laptop we have a charger that is also SMPS. Okay, laptop works based on your battery and this is charger. Okay, you disconnect a battery, you can use with a charger also, or power is off, then you can use with a battery. So it is a dual. Why? Because laptop is mainly for a mobility purpose. But in desktop, it is not meant for any mobility part. Once it is there, it is there. Okay. So switch mode power supply. What is SMPS? Switch mode power supply. You have a mobile phone charger, laptop charges, built in inside your TV connectors, inside your TVs, inside your ACs. Okay, in your computers. In this is about your computers part. Whatever it is, guys, SMPS switch mode power supply converts AC power supply to DC power supply. Main power supply is 220 volts, 50 hertz frequency. It's a sine wave. Main power supply, main connections are there now. Okay, like this. You have a power sockets are there. So this in a home, main power sockets in our India, it is 220 volts, 50 hertz frequency. 220 volts, 50 hertz frequency. In some places it say 230 volts. Of course, 220 to 230 max. Okay, 50 hertz frequency. What is a 50 hertz frequency? It is a sine wave. So that the sine wave is always changes. Okay, like this. Voltage is plus and minus, plus minus. It goes like that only. Okay, so voltage is not like a plus voltage or minus voltage. It plus and minus always. And frequency means the once it is become a plus and become a minus and plus again. So one wave complete one single rotation within a number of seconds. Based on that, this frequency will create it. I'm not going now with this thing. Okay, this is AC supply. What is this SMPS will do? It converts AC to DC supply. It converts AC to DC supply. Okay, DC is a constant voltage. Okay, DC is not having any sine wave. AC having sine wave. Okay, DC supply is a straight line. Okay, it is a like this. It is a straight line part. 12 volts, minus 12 volts, plus 5 volts, minus 5 volts, like a different voltages we are getting from the SMPS. This is the from SMPS to motherboard connector. This is the main SMPS. From SMPS to motherboard 24 pin connector, because we are using ATX. That too nowadays new ATX are we are having 24. Earlier it is 20 pin ATX, now it is 24 pin ATX. So you can see here it is. So 20 pin ATX directly go to your motherboard. Okay. So 20 pin, 24 pin ATX connection. So it is directly connected to your motherboard. Okay. Like this. Of course, there is a converters also there. So we'll see that one. And never connect like this. Means 20 motherboard 20 pin and your SMPS is 24. The 4R become outside. It is should not be like that one. But it is in a reverse side. It means your motherboard is 24 pin. Okay, motherboard is 24 pin and you are having a 20 pin. You want to connect, there is a converter is there. Yeah, this is 24 pin connector, 20 plus 4, 24 pin, or a single straight 24 pin connector. Which is a main power supply came from your SMPS to motherboard. This is a SATA type of hard disk or a SATA type of hard disk, CD-ROM or SSDs. To get a power, this is the type of connection we are getting from. What is this? Copy image or copy image? We have one more. Yeah, this is the point, but the picture is good, neat, very neat. Okay, you can use it. Okay, it's a motherboard, SMPS to motherboard, direct connection, right? SMPS to your hard disk or a CD-ROM or a SATA SSDs. This is SATA power supply to the device. If you are using PATA type of connection, means PATA hard disk, PATA CD-ROMs, this Molex connector is there, 4-pin Molex connector. Okay, this is a floppy disk connector, small mini Molex or kind of stuff. It's simply floppy disk connector. Nowadays we are not using. Nowadays it is also not there. P4MB connector, it is a 4-pin connector. Some are 6-pin connector, some are 8-pin connectors are there to connect on the motherboard. So on motherboard, you have this connection, this side. Okay, so maybe if I found something, not main power supply, actually it is very good. So it is 4-pin CPU 12 volts connector. It is not showing. It's 6-pin connector. Okay, so on motherboard, in motherboard, power power button, power not power button, power SMPS pin, something switch pins. Okay, so this is a motherboard part, but see it is lot of power connections are coming on motherboard. CPU. Okay, yeah, here it is. See, it is a 8-pin connector. Separate on motherboard, you have a for CPU 8-pin connector. Some are having 4-pin connectors. Some are having 6-pin connectors. Like this separately. Okay, so based on that also, based on your motherboard also, you have to take this connectors separately. So one is 80 ATX, 20 pins or 24 pins or 8 pin connectors are there. Okay, sometimes okay, and one is main power supply, that is what I showed here, main power supply connection. Next one is motherboard direct connect, motherboard CPU connector, separate connector like this. This is 4 pin, you can see it's a 4 pin. Like this we have to connect it, okay, from SMPS. So based on that also you have to choose your motherboard and SMPS part is also there. Second one is when you are using a graphic card. Okay, when you are using a graphic card, graphic cards take a power supply from your motherboards. Okay, okay, so graphic cards will get a power supply from motherboard. Directly it is inserted into directly on motherboard. So you'll get a power supply from motherboard. Sometimes it may require a additional power supply from SMPS. So that's when that is requirement. So then we may have to give from SMPS to your graphic card. You may require connect. Normally 2 GB, 4 GB normal graphic cards does not require additional power supply. But some graphic cards may require a power supply. Okay, so depends upon that you have to choose SMPS. Okay, now that is enough. Okay, so this is about your SMPS, guys. What is SMPS? Switch mode power supply. So it converts AC to DC power supply. AC to DC. Main power supply is a AC supply 220 volts 50 hertz, and our computer required DC power supply in a different voltages required 12 volts. You can see in this picture also 12 volts, 5 volts, 3.3 volts, and plus 12 volts, minus 12 volts also required. Minus 5 volts is not showing here, but I have written like this because I have a old knowledge that one. Okay. Next, when you are choosing a SMPS, so you have to choose different way, like based on your motherboard connectivity, 80 or ATX, 20 pins or 24 pins, additional pins for your CPU, like a 4 pin, 8 pin, 6 pin kind of connectivity, and Molex connector and SATA power connectors. You have to check it before you purchase a SMPS. Okay, so that is the first thing. Second one is, of course, the connectors. The second one is when you are purchasing a SMPS, what is the use of your computer, components in the computer, total what power, what is requirement. For example, your motherboard, CPU, RAM, your graphic card, hard disk will consume the power, right? It will take the power, means in a watts or VAs, it consumes power, right? So how much is required? How much is required when you start your computer? How much power is required to run these devices? For example, a CPU consumes a 55 watts, RAM consumes some 2 watts, just the wattage and not kilowatts. Okay, so total overall wattage consumption is, for example, 300 watts. 300 watts. Now you want to buy SMPS that for a 300 watts related. So then purchase 350 or 400 watts SMPS. Okay, for example, you are having a graphic card and all, it is consuming 500 watts. Take 550 or a 600 watts SMPS. Okay, even the 1 kV, 2 kV SMPS is also there. Different modes of SMPS is there, guys. So whatsoever it is, choose SMPS based on your requirement and power consumption and wide connectivities. So this is about your SMPS. Next one is about a storage devices. So I will tell about a hard disk and all. So take a small break. Oh, it's 1:23. Okay. Tomorrow we'll discuss completely storage devices, guys. Okay. So what is hard disk? What is SATA? What is PATA? What is meaning of partition? What is MBR and GPT? What is file system? What is SSDs? Then we'll see the boot process. Okay. I didn't check the time, Adra. Sorry. Okay. Guys, okay with the SMPS, motherboard, RAM, ROM, CPU?
Yes, sir.
Your settings.
Yes, sir. Sir,
Yeah.
which is the important point for interview in motherboard?
On motherboard, like okay. On motherboard, we didn't receive any questions, but connections, back panel connections, front on motherboard connections. We can tell.
Okay, all about connections.
Yeah, what is north bridge, south bridge?
Okay.
So we have a motherboards. So once again, to motherboard. So here it is. There's a north bridge and south bridge. What is north bridge and south bridge? What is PCA slots? Maybe they won't ask that much depth, but try to know what is the use of motherboard. What are the connectivity, direct connectivities? What is SATA connections? Just general knowledge, guys. It is known, at least generally available knowledge. What are the back panel connections, front panel connections? Okay, that is enough. What is SMPS? Abbreviation of SMPS. Use of SMPS. Okay, type of connectivity. What are the different power supplies we are getting from SMPS? That's it. 24 pin, 80x. This is enough. Okay. Very good.
Yes, sir.